Good news, my state of Arizona is the first. We are leading in the nation to open school choice to all children. It is the most robust expansion of educational freedom in the nation, returning control to the parents where it belongs. Let's talk about the rights and responsibilities of parents when it comes to the education of our children. Welcome to Morning Tea. If you're new here, then I'm Joanne, Jolee, and I would be honored if you would subscribe to this channel. So, jumping right in. In the Universal Declaration of Human Rights adopted by the United Nations General Assembly, Article 26 states, parents have a prior right to choose the kind of education that shall be given to their children. And our landmark bill continues that recognition of the God-given commission to train up our children. So one of the first questions people ask is, who do the children belong to? Most parents innately know that their children do not belong to the state or to any other person, but children don't even belong to the parents. Children belong to God, and He has placed the children into our care. Again, we are stewards of His property. Everyone belongs to me, the parent as well as the child, both alike belong to me. Children are at no point the personal property of anyone from pre-birth through the unformed yet all their days known fully by God, to post-birth as they continue their development and complete dependence upon their parents' care for some years. And nobody loves the child more than the parents do. In the last tragic school shooting, the police had to arrest and restrain parents who were willing to run into the building and die for their children if necessary. We often see police or teachers or other authorities risk their lives for the children some of the time, but parents all the time. No one knows their child like the parent does. The instincts are powerful from the moment the child is placed into their arms at birth. First-time parents obviously have much to learn, but with common sense and practical thinking along with counsel from parents or other adults, they do very well. So the next question would be, what should be taught? There's no specific course list that we can point to, but like many other things, we can get a proper understanding by looking at the big picture to discover what God requires. So however we decide to go about it, in our homes, homeschooling, employing tutors, enrolling the kids in public or private education, there are 3 important precepts. Number 3, counting down, is to care for the children. Now in this category, of course, we have basic physical needs. This requires fathers to get gainfully working at whatever will keep the children physically sheltered, clothed, fed and healthy. This also includes the emotional needs of the children. They are gentle. They have tender hearts. They need to feel safe and loved. And they can be easily hurt and damaged for life. They can be left broken and angry. The instruction to parents is, don't provoke your children so that they become discouraged. Children become discouraged from oppressive lecturing and criticizing so that they feel they can never please you, they can never get anything right. They will feel a sense of failure. Children will become discouraged when they are held to a different standard and punished for the things that parents get away with, like temper outbursts. They will feel injustice, and the hypocrisy is going to kindle in anger. Children become discouraged when affection is withheld, or they are treated harshly in their childish behavior, as opposed to the far more serious willful disobedience. They will feel unaccepted and unlovable. Children will become discouraged with constant comparisons to others, which embarrass them. They will feel inferior and not good enough. A child's initial taste of God the Father and His great love to us is through the parents. And Jesus said, if you hurt one of these little ones, it's going to be better that you have a big rock put around your neck and drowned. Fortunately, children are loving in nature and they're quick to forgive our mistakes when we will show them respect, offer sincere apologies in humility for our bad behavior, and demonstrate to them an effort to get ourselves in order. The second precept regards the discipline of children. Folly is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of discipline drives it far from him. What is the rod of discipline? In Psalm 23, we read, the Lord is my shepherd, and also there is a mention of a rod and a staff. In the classic, A Shepherd Looks at Psalm 23, the writer examines the various uses of the rod. There is a second dimension in which the rod is used by the shepherd for the welfare of the sheep, namely that of discipline. The club is used for this purpose, perhaps more than any other. If the shepherd saw a sheep wandering away from its own, or approaching poisonous weeds, or getting too close to danger of one sort or another, the club would go whistling through the air to send the wayward animal scurrying back to the bunch. Sheep are not intelligent animals, and they have a tendency to wander away, to fall off cliffs and get lost and tangled up in bushes and branches. They are followers, and they tread after each other round and round in circles until a path is worn and they're spreading parasites and making themselves sick. Another thing about sheep is that they're pretty helpless. They are vulnerable to predators since they don't have good defense mechanisms like speed to get away, camouflage, sharp teeth and claws. And they certainly won't survive long without the shepherd trimming their long wool in the hot months, taking care of the parasites and other diseases. We're often described as sheep regarding our constant wandering away from God's heart. But we're also like shepherds to our children who need our protection, our guidance and discipline. And number one, above all, is teaching them about God, nurturing them in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. This is not the weekly Sunday school, which can be very useful, but this is about the things of God on a day-to-day, hour-by-hour way of living. The academics, the extracurricular lessons fall way far behind the importance of instructing your children at home about who God is. When you're at home, when you're walking somewhere, when you're lying down, when you're getting up, whenever and wherever is where spiritual training predominantly takes place. Children are like little sponges soaking in the world around them. They're imitators of you, and whatever you model before them, they're just going to copy. So train them by example. Be a leader on the family ship. Show them more than telling them. Create for them a beautiful environment with pretty things, delicious aromas, and shalom, that beautiful, powerful Hebrew word which means peace. In summary, if you are facing down a school board who has overstepped their place beneath you, or any person or any authority who's presenting things to your children that are contrary to your beliefs, withdraw your children immediately before they become confused. As I've said before, public schools are not safe places for children anymore. Public education used to provide a setting for young people to think critically, to question, to have their ideas challenged. But those days are gone. See this link here for my thoughts on this. And thank you so much for being here. Every week we put out new content to inspire you and encourage you on your journey. So don't go without subscribing, and remember to look for the blessings. They're all around you. Bye-bye.
Where would be the triumph? I am gold, moving through fire.